So you've heard about the problems with Boeing's airplanes, but have you heard about their spaceship?
An Ohio billionaire plans to take a $20 million submarine down to the Titanic site to prove the industry is safer after the OceanGate sub implosion.
So you have the eyeball of the pyramid, and this is the JW's headquarters apparently in Denmark.
Yes, sir. My trigger. Back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be breaking down some creepy videos that'll leave you rattled. Let's get it.
Not me accidentally finding the Denver airport backrooms. Like, this just keeps going on and on. The ceilings are all so low. Like, what the? Okay. And it keeps going. Yo, where the am I? Like, okay, this says that there's a gate right there, but there's literally nothing right here. This airport is just so weird.
The Denver airport is the last place I will be wandering around discovering random corridors. He's lucky he only stumbled across the back rooms, because that could have ended much worse.
In 2001, CIA documents were declassified that finally told us about Operation Acoustic Kitty. In the 1960s, the CIA decided that cats should be used as spies. Yes, actually. The idea was that cats could easily go unnoticed in important conversations amongst, say, Soviet leaders, so why not have them record audio? So, the CIA created the Acoustic Kitty. A surgeon implanted a microphone inside of the cat's ear canal and a tiny radio transmitter at the base of its skull. They also managed to conceal an antenna in the cat's fur. This took them 5 years and $20 million. However, cats are known for doing their own thing, and this one was easily distracted. So after lots of training, they took the cat for an official test to make sure that it would do what it needed to do. Go to a park and eavesdrop on two men sitting on a bench and record their conversation. The cat was released, took a few steps, and was immediately hit by a taxi. And it was their only acoustic kitty. 5 years and $20 million. So the CIA concluded that while cats could be trained to go shorter distances, it was impractical for their longer missions, and they promptly abandoned the project after it was deemed a total failure.
I won't be trusting any stray cats anymore, because I doubt they spent $20 million for this research just to abandon the project completely.
Scary kay siya tan-awon mo sa bitin. Nga invisible, pero invisible nga bitin.
It could be some type of jellyfish, but I feel like those are usually a little more translucent than this. This looks like a giant silicone gummy worm.
Did you guys hear about that 7,000-year-old artifact that they found under this building in Miami? And that's the reason why they took that building down, because they knew the artifact's been under there, y'all. They're talking about this artifact is older than the pyramids in Egypt, y'all. And we already know this is the real Egypt. Check this out.
First of all, had to remove a pre-existing structure. And it was well known in the archaeological community that beneath that building there was likely to be some kind of archaeological material. How much, we didn't know until that building was removed. It very quickly became clear that the depth and the horizontal extent and the significance of the archaeological site there was more. To put that in context, this site is older than the pyramids in Egypt. The site is older, or as old, as some of the very first cities ever built in Mesopotamia. And yet, very little is known.
Y'all heard what he said, right? They purposefully took that building down because they knew there was ancient artifacts in it, right? And how come we don't know nothing about it? What is that ancient artifact?
If it's been well known that there's archaeological material underneath this building, then why build over it in the first place unless you're trying to hide it? And I doubt this is the only site. Downtown Miami would probably look like Gobekli Tepe if they actually unearthed everything.
You don't know, and this is how you know simulation is broke. Look, the sun is over there. No clouds, no clouds, no clouds. This cloud over there. But where's the shadow for this cloud coming from if the sun is behind me? Check this out. Can make it up, guys. Right here in the middle of nowhere, I have no service. Right here in the middle of the Nevada, there's a near Area 51. The simulation is broken. And where's the cloud? Where's the shadow for that cloud right there? If the sun is shining from this way. Look at that. There's nothing in front of the sun right now, right there. All the way across here. From the other side over there, look, I'm showing you. So where's that shadow coming from that's moving over there? That's a broken simulation right there. Another one over there. They're doing it, guys. Right here in the middle of the Nevada desert.
It could be a burn spot from a previous fire, but if he's in the Nevada desert, Area 51 is close by, so that's the next most likely suspect.
What's that? What's that, brother?
It almost looks like a decomposed alligator skull. That's not something you should happen to stumble upon on your front lawn.
So you've heard about the problems with Boeing's airplanes, but have you heard about their spaceship? Yeah, that's right. Boeing's trying to make a spaceship too, and they're having tons of problems. The Starliner program is already running years behind schedule, primarily due to problems with the spacecraft's software, parachutes, and propulsion system. They were trying to get a test flight going 5 years ago. And then last year, just a couple months before it was supposed to launch a crewed test flight, they discovered that it had problems with its parachutes and that Boeing had installed flammable tape inside the capsule's cockpit. They were about to try another manned test flight on May 6th, and then they halted the countdown because they had a valve leaking. While they were checking out the helium leak of this valve, they discovered a whole other problem with the propulsion system that would make it so that in the wrong scenario, they wouldn't be able to fly back down to Earth and they would just float off into space. Whoopsies. They fixed that. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. But they decided that the helium leak would be too costly and time consuming to fix. And it's not really a big deal. So they're just going to fly with it anyway. This is for real. They say, quote, "It's not a safety of flight issue." Even if the seal completely blows out and we had just metal to metal contact, we know that we can manage this. So this is really not a safety of flight issue for ourselves. And we believe that we have a well understood condition that we can manage. Yeah, I'm sure the Boeing astronauts feel great about that idea. All this while 2 Boeing whistleblowers kick the can and 10 more are coming forwards with serious issues. Hopefully the doors don't fall off of their spaceship mid-space flight. Besides, I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of what went wrong with that door and all that. Except evidence seems to keep on just disappearing.
The plane's cockpit voice recorder was inadvertently taped over at the time of the incident.
At this point, I wouldn't even let Boeing design a bicycle for me, so if I'm an astronaut right now, I'm sweating.
There's this frequency called IEEE 802.15.6. This wireless network, it is a short-range wireless communications in the vicinity of or inside a human body, but not limited to humans. It uses existing industrial, scientific, medical bands as well as frequency bands. You can connect to the human body using frequencies that is already out here. Now, if you wanted to take it a step further, people have made the arguments of advanced algorithms are the reason why you get so much specific targeted ads, or maybe your microphone is recording you secretly. I have reason to believe that these frequency machines are somehow able to penetrate your mind to such a degree and is able to feed you based on your thought pattern. Now that sounds super advanced. Well, it is. The network itself, the IEEE numbers, already affects frequencies can still communicate with your body. It's connecting to you like how we connect to Wi-Fi.
Reading the signals from your body.
We already know that Apple has a patent for AirPods that can read your brain signals, so it doesn't sound too far-fetched that there's already devices in use that can pick up on this frequency. We need to bring back the flip phone era.
Listen to what Ludacris said when he won a Grammy for his rap album, Release Therapy, in 2007.
So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points.
The winner for the best rap album goes to Ludacris. Is your year, baby.
So y'all telling me all I had to do was cut my hair to win the best rap album? That's what y'all telling me? Huh?
Cat Williams might actually be right, because that's a random thing to say during an acceptance speech, but cutting off your hair isn't all that bad. If they asked him to survive a Diddy party, that would be different.
TikTok user known for posting lifestyle and wellness tips, preparing to record a video when something scary happens.
You guys, I'm freaking the out. It is literally 2:50 a.m. Do you hear that?
While home alone, a child's play toy can be heard going off in one of the rooms.
That is my baby's bubble bath crab in the restroom. It just turned on out of nowhere. And I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack. Chicks, come on, buddy. Come on, let's go check. Come on. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come with me. Come on. Come on. My dog won't even come. Come on, buddy. He's coming.
After several hours pass, the same toy continued to go off all by itself.
I just posted a TikTok about this stupid thing. It won't shut up. Like, it won't.
Several hours later, she decided to disassemble it and take the batteries out, leaving many viewers to wonder if it ever happened again, or if she got rid of the toy entirely.
I feel like animals are a lot more sensitive to paranormal activity than we are, and that dog barely wanted to get up to check, so I'll be throwing Mr. Crab in the trash.
Okay, y'all. I threw this watermelon out over a week ago. It smelled really good. Bought it from Walmart. Cut it open, and it was like plastic. Tasting it was absolutely horrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it outside. This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
I don't even see any bugs trying to eat it. If the ants and insects don't want to bother, then you know it's bad.
I made a video not too long ago talking about how animals in the ocean have been acting strange by huddling up or beaching themselves, and a lot of you wanted me to go over the leviathan. Now, I've talked about this before, but in this video I'll go into more details about prophecies surrounding this creature and why some people believe that it plays a role in the strange behavior of our marine life. Now, the theories about Leviathan initially began back in 2020 when we were told that the ice in Antarctica was melting and revealing 300-mile-long ancient rivers underneath it. Around the same time, there were a lot of strange events happening in our waters, like multiple ocean fires and the US military testing 40-ton in the middle of the ocean as well. Fast forwarding to this year, there was a huge anomaly caught on radar coming from Antarctica, and while we were initially told that this was just a glitch, the anomaly ended up coming back and even changing shapes, which led multiple people to believe that this wasn't a glitch at all. This strange series of events led to multiple theories that a creature known as Leviathan was trapped in the ancient rivers of Antarctica but separated from our oceans by the Arctic ice. But once that ice melted, it was freed into our waters, prompting military preparation and disturbing our ocean's wildlife in the process. For those of you who may not know, Leviathan is a sea creature spoken about in the Bible and given very specific characteristics. The creature is said to have almost impenetrable scales, produce so much heat that the water around it boils, and is 300 miles long, which just so happens to be the same length as the ancient river that was discovered under Antarctica. And although it isn't mentioned by name, some people believe that it is one of the beasts that rises up in the book of Revelation before being slain by God in end-time prophecies.
When it comes to the blob, this is the one time where I would actually prefer if it was some sort of HAARP weather modification versus the Leviathan, because we have no answers for a 300-mile-long biblical creature.
Here are a list of all of the movies the Pentagon oversaw and contracted with Hollywood on. For those who don't know, the Pentagon has a Department of Defense Entertainment Media Office. From their website, the DoD Entertainment Media Office supports studios, production companies, producers, directors, etc. in the production of both scripted and unscripted films. According to the documentary Theaters of War, the US DoD does not just subtly influence Hollywood's depiction of US wars to present them in a more favorable light. The Pentagon actively demands script oversight and dictates storylines. In practice, it has been waging a full-spectrum propaganda war on Western audiences. Pentagon's objections usually relate to any suggestion of military incompetence or war crimes. Back in 2013, Dr. Stephen Underhill of Marshall University filed with the Freedom for Information Act to obtain all of the movies that the Pentagon has supervised on. Some of them were surprising. I'm going to list them page by page. Feel free to take screenshots.
I wasn't expecting this list to be 7 pages long. This looks like every single movie ever made. They might as well relocate the Hollywood signs on top of the Pentagon.
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere. Where's that car? What? Where is that car? Hello, where's that car? Where is this car?
I didn't see an orange Corvette anywhere. It's almost like it didn't fully render into reality yet, just the reflection.
Well. Seems our weather now comes with a date. As in an actual date made out of giant radar letters, situated near the undefined Marshall Islands in the North Pacific. Using a landmass for reference, my estimate is these numbers are 50 to 80 kilometers high at least. Looks like they're sitting in a big pixelated Pac-Man kind of shape. Now, this is on ventusky.com, you know, home of the blob, which, by the way, led to them pulling that model altogether. They said that was a glitch, so maybe this is a glitch too, right? Here's about where it is, and here's an island to give you an idea of how giant these numbers are. It clearly says 2024-05. May 2024. This expiration date was here at least from Tuesday, May 28th, but it does seem to expire today on May 31st. Do you think we might be trying to send a signal to something far, far away? Nah, I don't think so. But I really look forward to hearing what you all make of this. See you in the comments.
It seems like this date was added on purpose to show that this is a clear-cut glitch and nobody would question the blob being a glitch anymore, but I'm not sold.
Rihanna explained how she was threatened to sign her contract with Jay-Z.
We signed it at night. We didn't let her leave the office. Really? The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m. Wow. That day, I was absolutely certain.
How often does that happen? I mean, that's
not often.
That's unheard of, right?
That's not, yeah. I mean, to get lawyers to draft up contracts and then the other side to agree to contracts in 10 hours that's
So now I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of Rihanna talking about being threatened to sign her recording contract with Jay-Z. And you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming. You had to sing a cappella for him? Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time. So then what did he say to you? He said something to you. Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief. But then he said something about a window and a door. Oh, then he said, he did the whole word. On you play. He said, there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed, or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Jay-Z said it himself. It's unheard of to draft up contracts and get both sides to agree to a contract in one night. But when you throw the 29th floor clause in it, anything is possible.
Major famous politicians throughout history, kings, queens, many great scientists have all been secretly practicing various forms of magical ritual and invoking and summoning the spirits of stars and planets into a magical temple. Say, for example, Queen Elizabeth II, who is the grand patroness of World International Freemasonry, or, you know, her ancestors, such as Queen Elizabeth I, who employed magicians such as John Dee. It sounds weird. It sounds crazy. Many people passed magical ritual out of hand as being unscientific. But the greatest scientific minds of recent generations, such as Sir Isaac Newton, took magic very, very seriously. In actual fact, magic is the root of all modern science. Now, there was a book published in the 1800s called The Celestial Intelligencer, and that is a sort of form of a grimoire. Grimoire is a magical textbook, and there are many grimoires, and many of them have their roots in Kabbalistic and pre-Kabbalistic traditions of magic from ancient Israel and Palestine.
If this is true and there's people in power who practice magic, then hopefully they can conjure up a spell to magically lower inflation or something. Then I'll be impressed.
I didn't think I would be waking up to abject biological horror today, but here we are. The brain organoids, the tiny human brains that we can grow in jars, have been released for commercial processing access. If you're not familiar with these guys, they are human brains that have been grown from stem cells, and they have brainwaves very similar to a premature baby's. I am not kidding. The limitations on their use and their growth seems to be hypoxia due to the fact that they're a disembodied brain and don't have a circulatory system. They can be attached to a computer chip and have better processing power than our most advanced AI. A Swiss company, Neuroplatform, is debuting their biological computer chips and giving access to private citizens to use the processing power of the brain organoid. While there are 16 brain organoids to a chip, they're maintaining thousands of them. They also have mouse and rat brain organoids, but they explicitly use human brain organoids. There have been some advancements in being able to keep them alive longer including keeping them in a media that's oxygen rich and shaking them. They live about 100 days, so they will constantly need to be refreshed. As for the company, you personally can get access to their computation. It is going to run you about $500 a month if you're in education. I am frustrated. This is brand new technology. It is pretty spooky. Those are functional little eyes that can perceive light. They are immature human brains. They have all the structures that a human brain should have. They're just never reached that point in development because, the lack of a circulatory system. But scientists are doing their very best to make them bigger and more complex. At what point are we going to bring ethics into the equation?
I can see this going terribly wrong once AI figures out how to use these to have more computational power and no longer need humans to make microchip processors. That's when we become obsolete.
These workers were on an oil rig out in Brazil when they captured something weird in the ocean. What looks like this huge bright light in the middle of the water. There's nothing around it, nothing underneath that could account for what's causing this light. Is this a USO or something else going on? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Olha lá, cara, aquela luz. Olha lá. Que é aquilo, cara? Que luz é aquela, mano? Olha lá, luz. Que luz louca, mano. Ah, o sol morreu, foi pra lá, não foi pra cá, não. Só lá, o sol se pôs lá, ó. Que luz é aquela ali? Fica lá, no meio do nada. Doideira.
It's possibly a submarine with a spotlight on it, but if I'm the captain of that ship, I'm putting it in reverse just in case it's a USO.
An Ohio billionaire plans to take a $20 million submarine down to the Titanic site to prove the industry is safer after the OceanGate sub-implosion. Larry Connor and Patrick Leahy plan to descend almost 12,500 feet in a two-person submersible to the now seemingly cursed wreckage of the Titanic, which saw 5 people lose their lives in June last year after they attempted to do the same thing. The duo said they want to prove that the trek can be done without disaster. Leahy has now designed a $20 million sub, Triton 4002 Abyssal Explorer, which Connor said can carry out the voyage repeatedly.
Hopefully they won't be steering this one with the Logitech, because I'm pretty sure the owner of the OceanGate said he would be able to make that trip repeatedly as well, and we see what happened with him.
There have been many pictures and videos that have came to light recently from Anlong County in China that shows clearly many dozens, if not more, pyramids hidden amongst the hillsides. Now the experts are saying these are no more than parallel layers of stones. They all just happen to look like pyramids. But it's pretty clear it's just one more in a growing list of reasons why we don't trust the experts anymore. And these certainly weren't the first pyramids uncovered in China. Here's a photo in 1945 from U.S. Airman James Gossman, and it was absolutely massive in size, dwarfing the pyramids in Egypt. You can pause to read more of his experience. In fact, there's been dozens, if not hundreds, of photos and reports of hidden pyramids scattered all throughout China. While government officials refuse access to investigate any of these sites, in fact, goes to great lengths to cover them back up, plant trees on top of them, and block off any access from the public. But even on the controlled Google Earth, you can still find many of them to this day. But it's no surprise they want to keep these hidden. These realm-wide pyramids show once again, history is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
If these really are man-made pyramids, then it's probably smart that China has kept them hidden for so long, because the Romans would have ransacked them like they did the pyramids in Egypt.
This is one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. I think the government trying to control your mind with brainwaves and put dreams and thoughts in your head was stupidity, QAnon stuff. Then I saw this that Rihanna showed me. On the United Nations Human Rights Office of the High Commissioner, they literally have this document called Directed Energy Weapons Targeted Individual Patent. And this includes all of the patents for these DEWs, the frequency, wave type, symptoms, publication, invented by, and the description. And you have to read some of these descriptions because it's truly terrifying. Makes voices emanate from individuals who do not intend or realize it. Ventriloquist effect. Remotely causes individuals to hear voices via EMF waves imperceptible to anyone else. Controls human behavior via targeting human brains with ELF, extremely low frequency. And all you have to do is copy and paste this patent number into Google, and you'll see the patent number, Google Patents, you'll see what it does, the abstract, the images, literally everything is on here. And then suddenly so much makes sense. Shout out to Rihanna for finding this. I can't believe it.
So all the people who've committed crimes that said that they heard a voice in their head that told them to do it might not be so crazy after all.
Somebody took an aerial photo of the JW's headquarters. Here's a picture of it. So you have the eyeball of the pyramid, and this is the JW's headquarters, apparently, in Denmark. They're saying it was purely coincidental and accidental. I find that hard to believe, but you guys can tell us what you think.
You know, blueprints are real, and, you know, before you construct anything, you have an outline of things. So clearly somebody had to see this and look at least, hey, you know, it looks kind of like the back of the US dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, at minimum, we know what the back of the US dollar is saying, New World Order, in Latin. So we know that's what it's saying. So maybe the idea is that the Jehovah's Witnesses were just basically saying, we're going to bring in the New World Order.
It's called Watchtower Organization. I never thought of it like that. Yeah, it's a tower with an eye on it. It's a watchtower.
Judging from this, I think we know what organization the person who set up the JW Church is affiliated with. There's no way this is a mistake.
My buddy just sent me this video right here. All I can say is goosebumps on top of goosebumps. Y'all watch this, man. This is going to get this place shut down.
Okay, so this whole thing had kind of been confusing at parts. A minute ago, I saw her take a video of a rock that was chipping, and it shouldn't chip like that. And then Shakira was over here, and she's beating on this stuff, and we realized that this chip's like a plaster, and it's like a hollow sound compared to the real rock. Look, there's a perfect scene. I mean, perfect scene that goes all the way up. Like it's just placed together, plastered over, and then probably was like painted over by giants or some shit.
Okay, so almighty powerful ones, all I ask is when y'all shut this place down for research purposes, just let me and Nick and them come back and check it out. You know what I'm saying? We just want to see the inside. That's all I'm asking. Then I can post it and y'all can all see it.
It definitely looks like one of those fake mountains you would see at Disney World. And Sedona, Arizona is known for strange phenomena, especially UFO activity. So he might have just exposed the secret base. I commend his dedication to save this umbrella, but it looked like he was about to take flight like Mary Poppins. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.